Good morning and good day, everyone. For anyone who is watching this video, I am Miss Donna Tutana, and I will be doing a demo teaching for grade 9 Algebra 1. Topic is table of values given in two variable equation. So the essential question for this topic is how can I use a table of values from a two variable equation and plot the solution on a coordinate plane. And of course, the learning objective of this lesson is for the students to be able to plot all the possible solutions from a two variable equation, or if they're given a table of values, okay, and they should be able to use those plotted points to analyze worded problem. And all of this topic is aligned for the standards REID 10. This aims to understand that the graph of an equation in two variables is the set of all its solutions plotted in a coordinate plane, and often forming a curve which could be a straight line. Okay, so let's go ahead and start with the teaching. So again, good morning, everyone. Good afternoon. Welcome to my class. So welcome to Miss Tutana's math class. And before we start, I already dropped the link for this Desmos classroom in our chat box. So kindly go ahead and then jump into the link. And then you should be able to see this page on your end. Let me know if you don't see this one, and we can try to fix if there's something um, going on your end. Okay. So before we start, let's try to know each other. So I want to ask this question. I want to know if you are already working a certain job. So even if you're a high school student, I know most of you already have a job. Yes, that's right. So you're working at a coffee shop, right? Working at a um, supermarket, right? At Walmart, that's right. So it's a good start to have responsibilities at a very young age, right? So I also had my job when I was like 15 years old, 16. So what do you think, or why do you think it's important that when you are working, you know how to compute your salary, or why is it important that you know your salary? Okay, that's right. So since you are being paid per hour, knowing how much your salary is, right? You should be able to know if you're being paid the right amount. Because if you work for a certain number of hours, you should be paid this much. So it's very important that you know your salary and how to compute it, right? So for this lesson, I will be teaching you a specific skill or something that you can use so that you can easily track your number of hours and the salary that you should be getting when you are working a certain job. Okay? So again, for this lesson, I will be teaching you how to use the table of values from a two variable equation, and then you should be able to plot those solution or the points on the coordinate plane, and you can use those things so that you can track your number of hours when you work and then the salary that you should be getting. Okay? So how do we use this one, or how do we do this one? Now I have here a specific example. So if a student who most loans earns $10 per hour, and they want to figure out how much money they will make in total after working different amount of hours. So if one of the student is Johnny, and he worked for 5 hours, while Jen, another student, worked for 3.5 hours, how much will each student earn? So I have here a table of um, value. So you can see here the on the left side, the number of hours worked, and on the right side, the right row, you see the money earned after hours. So if per hour you earn $10, so if Johnny earned $5, 5 hours, so that means he would be earning $50, right? So if Jen worked for 3.5 hours, so just multiply that by 10. So that's going to be $35. So you can you can get any number of hours. So let's say if another student, or if you are doing this job, let's say if you work for another 2 hours, so let's say 6 hours, then you should be earning $60, right? So just multiply it by 10. So if you work for 8 hours, then you should be getting $80, right? So now, how do we plot these points in the coordinate plane? So you can see here, your number of hours of uh, worked would be your x variable, that's the independent variable. And then your money earned after hours would be your dependent variable. It would depend on how many hours you work. So, so we write, or we find those number of hours here on the x-axis, and then we find that money earned after hours in the y-axis. Okay, so if Johnny worked for 5 hours, he would earn 50. So we put that mark there. If Jen worked 3.5 somewhere here, so he's just gonna earn $35. And then if you work 6 hours, then you would earn 60. And then if you work 8 hours, you would earn $80. Okay. And then you can see here that the graph, or the point, would form a straight graph, or a straight line. So imagine if you work for 0 hours, then of course you won't earn anything, right? So it would look like this one. There you go. So you can see here the graph tells you that if you work for more hours, you will be earning more dollars. Okay. So now for the next example. So I want you to do think and share. So I want you to pair up with your classmate and then try to read the problem, and then answer the following questions, and then you fill out the table, and you should be able to write an equation representing the numbers that you have written on the table. Okay. So again, let's do our think and share problem. So your new job is at a custom tea shop where the t-shirts are printed to order. For each order, the custom tea shop charges $8 per shirt plus a one-time setup fee for $15. Write the linear equation showing how the total cost of t-shirts depends on how many t-shirts are ordered. Okay, so for this example, I can see that you have written your work here. So I can see that if um, you decided to have 5 t-shirts, right? So that means that you would be paying, you have to multiply that 5 by 8, and then you're gonna add the $15 one-time setup fee. That's right. So that's gonna be total cost would be 55. Okay. So if you decided to do a 10 t-shirts, then you're gonna multiply that by $8. Oops. And then add that $15 one-time fee, then that's gonna be 25. So if you do a 13 number of t-shirts and then multiply that by 8, and then again we're gonna have that $15 one-time fee, then you get 119 for the total cost. Okay. So now if you're gonna write the linear equation, that's right, your linear equation is correct. So your x is your number of ordered t-shirt. So you just multiply that by 8. Okay? And then add that by 15. And then that would be equal to your y, the total cost. So if you will simplify that equation, you can write that as your y, which is the total cost, would be equal to 8x plus 15. Okay. So now, since you're able to do that one, let's try to do the exit ticket. So you have here, complete the table of values for the equation 3x plus 1 equals y, and plot the solutions on the coordinate plane. Okay. I'll give you a few more minutes and then let's answer the exit ticket. Okay, thank you. So let's have this one. So since you have your value of x here is 2, so that's going to be 2 times 3, that's 6, plus 1, that's 7. And then here for 5, that's going to be 3 times 5. I'll just write that one here. Plus 1, which is equal to 16. Okay, so I'll just write 16 here. Oops. There we go. And then let's plot this one. So 2, 7. And then 3, 10. 5, 16. And then 6, 19. There we go. So you can see it forms a straight line, right? And there you go. You've done the table of values, and I want you to do a self-checkup and then just answer the following question here. And I'll see you all next meeting. Thank you.